Another shining example of why people are not interested in the NBA, because the face of the league continues to be more worried about false narratives and identity politics than actually playing the game of basketball. And the Lakers losing yet again to the Portland Trail Blazers. Now LeBron in the post game decides to continue to whine and cry about identity politics, and nobody actually believes that he cares about police brutality, because he doesn't really care about police brutality. He cares about pushing a false narrative. He cares about an agenda. He doesn't care about oppressed people, because if he did, he would say something about China. But he shut up and he dribbled when he was in China, because LeBron James is a complete and total phony. So LeBron in the post game decides to take a "Make America Great Again" hat, which is obviously a hat that Donald Trump has made popular and uses to campaign, and he crosses it out, and he says, "Make America Great Again." No, "Make America Arrest the Cops Who Killed Breonna Taylor." Because in LeBron's mind, the only people that have ever been attacked by the police are innocent black people, because it's all about framing a false narrative. Yet LeBron James is not really interested in police brutality. So first, let's listen to what the hero LeBron had to say, and then we will talk a little more about it.
Colleagues do a great job asking them. I just wanted to ask two non-game related questions. One, you weren't on the court for the anthem and the intros. I wanted to see if there was any intention behind that.
Yeah, he did not come out for the national anthem. The country that has elevated this man to basically a millionaire before he turned 20. He's had everything handed to him because he's the king. Before he even played an NBA game, before he even left high school, he was anointed the king, and he is well on his way to becoming a billion-dollar athlete. But America has been so bad to LeBron James.
And two, can you please talk to me about the hat that you're wearing that all of your teammates wore to the game tonight?
You want to know why I wasn't out there?
I don't need to know the specific reason.
Well, you're asking, so you want to know why I wasn't out there?
No, I think I'm good.
All right, there you go.
Talk to me about the hat, please.
You know, it's just something that we continue to put our foot on the gas, continue to pressure. You know, the situation that's going on in Louisville, Kentucky. Innocent woman being killed, and by the name of Breonna Taylor, a woman who had a bright future, and her life was taken away from her. And there's been no arrest, there's been no justice, not only for her but for her family. You know, and we want to continue to shed light on that situation because it's just unjust, and you know, that's what it's about.
So, is that what it's about, LeBron? Well, LeBron, why have you never talked about Tony Timpa? Why have you never talked about Tony Timpa? Why have you never talked about the situation with the police brutality surrounding Tony Timpa? Is it because Tony Timpa is a white male and you're too busy pushing the narrative that the police are only after African Americans? Why have you never talked about Daniel Shaver? Why have you never talked about this situation? We're all aware of this situation. People with common sense, people that are actually paying attention. Why have you never talked about Daniel Shaver? Why, if it's about police brutality, if it's about justice, why have you never talked about that? Is it about innocent black people dying? Is it about too many people? Is it about Black Lives Matter, LeBron? Then why don't you talk about Chicago, LeBron? This just is updated. 64 shots, 7 fatally across Chicago just this weekend, LeBron. And this happens every weekend in Chicago, LeBron. But LeBron doesn't want to talk about these things because it's not actually about anything other than creating a false narrative to push an agenda. Now, I think it's terrible what happened to Breonna Taylor. I don't know all of the specifics. You look at the specifics, there's certain stories out there, and regardless of what ultimately happened, based on what we know, it's obviously horrible what happened to her. And I think everybody agrees with that, LeBron. But what about the other people that aren't African American or black or women or whatever narrative you can build around it? Why don't you speak up against injustice? Why do you always only speak up about injustice when it is formed in a certain narrative, LeBron? Why have you never spoken up about Tony Timpa? Why? Why don't you speak up against what's happening in Chicago, LeBron, if it's all about Black Lives Matter, LeBron? Because it's not. LeBron James is doing nothing but pushing politics. This is all he cares about. This is also the same guy who pushed a fake hate crime in his home in LA. But of course, we don't talk about that anymore because the media loved to report on it when it first broke because it looked like LeBron was a victim of a fake hate crime. And then suddenly it turned into a Jussie Smollett situation where it basically looked to be like something was invented and the media completely starts ignoring it when it looked like LeBron was actually making it up because it's not actually about the truth. It's only about the narrative that can be built around it. So again, people just don't care. This is why the NBA ratings are in the trash. This is why. Because someone like LeBron James is not going to tell you that police brutality, regardless of race, is terrible. Because LeBron's not even going to acknowledge that police brutality happens with white people and black people. Of course, police brutality is a bad thing. And of course, there are cops out there that are abusing their power. And of course, that needs to be addressed. But when LeBron James is only framing it from one specific way, one specific narrative, pretending that it's only one race that's being attacked, then normal common sense people look at that and said, this guy doesn't actually care about what he's talking about. He only cares about pushing identity politics. And that is why people don't like LeBron James. And he's also more interested in politics than playing the game of basketball. So go continue pushing your narrative, LeBron. It's your right. And it's the fans' right to continue to have opinions and say, we don't like the fact that you are pushing false narratives with identity politics because you don't actually believe in the stuff you say. And the fact that you bent the knee to China, the fact that you went over there and shut up and dribbled, said everything we need to know about you because you don't actually care about what you're talking about. And people are sick and tired of you. Have a great day. Thank you guys for checking out this video. I appreciate that so much. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Check out our website, geeksandgamers.com, where we cover movies. We cover entertainment, video games. On the main Geeks and Gamers channel, we cover the identity politics going on in Hollywood because that's virtually all that we have to talk about right now is Hollywood virtue signaling and talking about a bunch of nonsense to cover up for the fact that they truly are horrible people. So if you guys are interested in that, please go over to Geeks and Gamers and subscribe. Also subscribe to Park Hoppin', our theme park channel, our gaming channel, Gaming with Geeks. And then, of course, our website. Go over there, sign up for an account, jump into the forums. You guys have a great day, and we will talk to you later.